I'm not here to fight the children of the atom. I want to save them. Quote Maystorm. Who are the X-Men? Rise of the Masked Mutants. Maystorm takes the reins, no more hiding their powers, even if it means hiding their faces. Disenfranchised and despairing after the raid on the children of the atom, the man-made mutants seek out leadership, and Maystorm is ready to rise to the occasion. Ultimate X-Men Volume 2, Issue 11. A diabolical genius known as the Maker used time travel to create his ideal Earth by systematically preventing anyone from ever becoming a superhero, except for those on his secret Maker's Council, who he stationed to rule over different regions of the world. Unrest has exploded across the eastern territory of Haino Kuni, land of the sun, after images of a human body in a suitcase went viral. The incident brought the news media to a cult of superpowered mutants called Children of the Atom, many of whom were forced to undergo human experiments. But unwanted attention drove the group underground, including Natsu, who disappeared after accidentally killing her mother with her optic blast. The media frenzy also created problems for mutants who aren't involved in the cult at all. Hisako Ichike Armor fled her home after neighbors showed up asking questions. Never mind that Hisako's been stalked by the cult member Shinobi Kageyami, Shadow King, for months. Nico, Monroe, and Mori head to Natsu house, concerned about her sudden disappearance. They haven't spoken to her and have been unable to reach her, making them increasingly worried. Upon arriving at her apartment, Nico uses her psychic abilities to create a key and pick the lock. Mori, surprised, exclaims, "Wait, no way. Nico, did your magic wand just turn into a key?" The two enter the apartment cautiously. Nico knocks on the door and calls out, "Knock, knock, excuse me." Mori hesitates and says, "Are we seriously just breaking in? We should at least wait for Hisako." Nico replies, "Hisako is at Haruto Mall with May." Nico Monroe is the Earth 616 counterpart of Nico Monroe, Earth 616, a Japanese-American member of the Runaways. Mori is the Earth 616 counterpart of Molly Hayes from the Runaways. She is similar to Molly Hernandez, Earth 1999999, but differs in ethnicity from the mainland counterpart. Natsu is the Earth 616 equivalent of Cyclops. Her name translates to summer, and her design features an eye patch covering her red eye, along with a tracksuit that evokes Scott Summers' style during X-Men Volume 2. As a member of the Children of the Atom led by the Maester, Natsu mirrors young Scott Summers' childhood at the State Home for Foundlings, which was run by Mr. Sinister. Nico and Mori enter the house. Mori has a bad feeling about this and doesn't want to go through with it, but she also wants to help her friend Natsu. Meanwhile, Nico is determined to find a lead. "Now, where is Natsu's room?" Nico asks. Mori looks around and says, "Look at these holes. They must have been from Natsu." The girls notice burned holes in the doorways caused by Natsu's optic blast. In a fit of rage, she lost control of her abilities, accidentally unleashing her optic blast through the door, ultimately killing her own mother. This is likely one of the reasons Natsu disappeared, especially with heightened anti-mutant sentiment spreading across the internet and Japanese society. Mori, shaken, mutters, "This is really bad." They walk into the room but find nothing. The entire space is completely torn apart, slashes everywhere, broken furniture, and paper scattered across the floor. Something definitely happened here. Nico glances down and notices a symbol on the ground. It's the emblem of the Children of the Atom, but has been carefully cut and shaped to resemble an axe. We then go to a temple in the mountains behind Kerigama Minami Middle School. Hisako used to visit the shrine during New Year's as is a part of a Japanese culture to pray for the future good luck and blessings from the gods. This is why she has come here now, seeking guidance, especially after all the chaos that has unfolded in Ultimate X-Men Volume 2, Issue 10. After leaving her home, Hisako has been staying with Nico. Recently, after visiting the shrine, we are taken back to an earlier moment before the events of Ultimate X-Men Volume 2, Issue 10, when she was speaking with May. Hisako looks at May with concern and says, "Hey May, something's wrong. You don't seem like yourself." May responds, "I'm worried about Granny. She hasn't been feeling well lately, and I kind of think it's my fault. I might be stressing her out just by being there. I can't stay much longer." Hisako suggests, "Why don't you crash at Nico's with me? It'll be fine. I'll ask for you." May hesitates and replies, "I don't want to get in the way. There's something else." May says, "I've been talking to some kids from the Children of the Atom." Hisako responds, "Are you crazy, May? That sounds dangerous. They'll try to recruit you into their cult." May shakes her head. "It's not like that. We're just hanging out." Hisako sighs, "I guess I don't have to worry about you getting brainwashed brainwashed maybe, but you know that shadow thing is involved with the cult somehow, and it's been pretty calm lately. I don't think it's a good idea to stir things up. It's bad enough that Nico and Mori are set on finding Natsu themselves. I'm worried about her too, but we should leave things like missing people cases to the police. I don't think getting involved is a good idea. May looks at her and says, but we are involved, Hisako. Like Nico said, we're mutants too. I don't think running away is the answer. After all, it's better to regret something you have done than something you haven't. We return to the present day at the temple. Hisako thinks to herself, May is so strong, so confident. Why am I like this? But then she feels someone watching her. Is it the shadow? No, it's Kanon San-Ochi. Kanon is Earth 616 variant of Kawan, also known as Psylocke. Her background differs significantly from that of the mainland counterpart. Psylocke steps forward and says, there you are. Kanon says, Armor Girl, you got a minute? Hisako responds, what do you want? Who are you? Kanon smirks and says, me? I stepped out of legends. I'm a descendant of the samurai Sei. Hisako narrows her eyes. From that old folk tale about Kirishikaki Mountain, are you serious? Psylocke nods. That's the one. For generations, my family has been friends with the Oni. So how about you? Are you a mutant or an Oni? The Oni are creatures from Japanese mythology and folklore, roughly equivalent to the orgs and trolls from the European folklore traditions. They are typically portrayed as hulking figures with one or more horns growing out of their head. Hisako eyes widens in recognition. Hey, I remember you now. You're that jerk who bumped into me in the locker room. Psylocke smirks. The name's Kanon. Hisako says, I don't know what your deal is, but I don't have time for your games. Kanon places her kendo stick on Hisako's shoulder and smirks. Not so fast. I bumped into you because I sensed something special about you. Let's see what you got, Armor Girl. Hisako's protective armor flares up. She clenches her fist in anger. Stop calling me that. Kanon grins. There she is. That's who I wanted to meet. Kanon gets into her fighting stance, channeling her psychic energy to coat her kendo blade, making it appear as it's covered in nails. Kanon smirks. Your power is mostly defense, isn't it? Me, I prefer offense. She then lunges forward, striking Hisako's armor repeatedly with her psychic-infused kendo strike. After launching her psychic nails, Kanon slashes through Hisako's armor, seemingly damaging it and causing it to deactivate. Kanon smirks. Is that it? I thought you'd bring more. Hisako glares. Why should I? I don't even know who you are. I don't fight without a reason. Kanon chuckles. You wouldn't fight even if someone did give you a reason, from what I've seen. 4 months ago, Kanon was secretly listening in on a conversation between Hisako and May. Hisako sighed. I wonder if Nico got any answers from Natsu. May shrugged. No clue. Kind of spaced on that. Hisako hesitated before continuing. At the basketball court, when we fought the shadow, I was unleashed. I didn't want anyone to see me like that. May smiled. You were cool. Hisako shook her head. What's the point of this power? It's no help at all. All it does is get in the way. May hesitated. I guess. Unbeknownst to them, Kanon had been listening to their entire conversation. Hisako says, don't pretend you know me. I'm not some character in whatever story you're making. Kanon smirks. You know that hashtag meat case? I'm the one who found it. As Kanon charges towards armor with her sonic nail-covered kendo stick, Hisako activates her full armor and lands a punch straight to Kanon's face. Hisako glares. So what? Kanon wipes her mouth and grins. Aren't you scared you could be the next in the suitcase? Whatever happens, life is just a game, and I'll keep playing until the end. Part of Hisako's journey is realizing that she sees her power as a hindrance. The Shadow King, Kageyami, walks through a crowd as people gossip. Has there been any news about hashtag meat case? Someone asks. Surge responds. Zero. Have you seen this cat Meme? Kageyami replies. So cute. Everyone in the crowd is focused on the black cat that pulled off a major heist, an event currently unfolding in the latest issues of Ultimate Spider-Man, helping to unite the Ultimate Universe into one cohesive world. Kageyami finally arrives home, where his mother greets him. Oh, you shouldn't be out. You really shouldn't be going out. You're still healing. The Shadow King enters his room, slams the door, and steps into his closet. As he begins using his powers, the silence fades. The Shadow King is back in an old abandoned warehouse. A masked figure with an X on it speaks. Thanks for coming to learn the truth. Adults think they can use us for whatever they want. We have to save the lost children of the Atom. We're in this together. Around the many masked followers listen intently. Another masked individual wearing a mask with sun-like face says, the hashtag MeatCase News, and all the comments disappeared. It's like it never happened. Others in the group murmur, someone is hiding something. One of them turns to the figure with the X mask and says, you have friends in the Children of the Atom. You have information. You can prove it. Yes, Yes, you're our leader. The masked figure adorned with an African-inspired headpiece and dreadlocks is surrounded by other members who urge her to take on the role of the leader. She shakes her head and says, "Don't call me that. I'm no leader." One of the masked individuals says, "Then what should we call you?" As they manage to get the TV working, the screen flickers to life, showing footage from Africa. The group watches intensely as images of Killmonger and the Sorcerer Supreme Enon appear. But what truly captures their attention is Storm, Aurora Monroe, fighting back against the power of the Cabal. The broadcast, which seems to be coming from a source outside the control of the Makers Council, features a news anchor reporting the rebel fighter known as Storm is proving to be a crucial ally in the continent's war against. The sound is cut off. Suddenly, the signal cuts out. The masked figure with the X tilts her head deep in thought before finally speaking. Storm. Looking at the group, she says, "Call me May Storm." We know that the person with the insignia on her head is May Igarashi. We have always known that she admired Storm Aurora Monroe from reports. We also know that she wore an X and that she has been missing, having been in contact with the children of the atom. May Igarashi is May Storm. She may not call herself a leader, but everyone looks to her as the head of these unidentified X-Men, the secret society of X-Men. The leader, May Storm, May Igarashi. As the TV set turns back on, a dark presence begins to move forward. Multiple eyes and symbols appear, the same one seen with the Shadow King. These eerie symbols also manifest on TV screens and streamers as the image becomes distorted. A demented-looking shadow monster peers out from the screen. The Shadow King is back. The masked mutant asks, "What is that?" Maystorm responds, "That is something that's been a pain in my ass for months, harassing me and my friends." She continues, "He's one of the children of the atom." One of the masked mutants asks, "Is he an enemy?" Maystorm replies, "I thought he was, but he's just a victim like us." The Shadow King sneers, "What nonsense are you speaking?" The Shadow King says, "I've been hearing whispers about you. You're a mutant and you're foolish enough to think you can set things right. There's no going back. I've also heard you talking to Hisako. Tell me, where is she, neighbor?" Maystorm says, "What are you talking about?" The Shadow King replies, "Surprise. I'll admit it took me a while to figure out who you are. You've changed so much since the last time I saw you." Maystorm asks, "What's going on? Who are they?" Suddenly a group of people bearing the children of the atom insignia appears at the warehouse. As the masked mutants turn toward the children of the atom, they ask, "Maystorm, is that their symbol? Are they mutants like us? What do we do? Do we fight them?" Maystorm replies, "I'm not here to fight the children of the atom. I want to save them." Just then, the sound of a moped approaching catches their attention. Someone with pink hair arrives at the window, observing the situation. Meanwhile, the Shadow King sneers, "I loathe hypocrites like you." At the window, the newcomer is revealed, Yukio, a streamer for the 8 Chom channel, known online as Chimame. Yukio stares at the chaos unfolding and exclaims, "What the hell is going on?" Next in Ultimate X-Men Volume 2, Issue 12, Showdown with the Shadow King. May Storm leads her team of masked mutants in a climactic battle against Shadow King, but the confrontation leads to a huge rift between the best friends, Maystorm and Armor.